Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I want to talk about artifact weapon appearances, and in particular, I want to talk about all the different ones that were linked to the challenge modes from the Mage Tower and that have been removed from the game since the end of Legion and since the release of Battle for Azeroth. And these are some really good appearances that players have been asking to get back into the game for years. And recently, we are getting a few hints that maybe these appearances will eventually be brought back into the game. And I just want to go through these different hints and explain why I personally believe that maybe Blizzard is planning to finally bring these items back into the game. Also, before I start jumping into this video, a quick disclaimer. All I'm going to discuss in today's video is pure speculation. So again, if sadly it ends up not happening, please don't be too mad at me. I'm just reading a little bit into all the hints that we got so far. And also, I just think it's interesting to discuss about these different possibilities. But everything is still up in the air. Nothing has been confirmed. So please take everything I will say in today's video with a grain of salt. Just before I start, and here I would invite you to skip that part of the video if you already know what are these different appearances and how you were able to unlock them. But just as a quick reminder, when you were playing Legion, you were able to get one artifact weapon for each specialization for each class. And with these different artifact weapons, you were able to unlock different type of appearances. So for instance, here, this is the arm warrior, no. So for instance, here, this is the arms warrior weapon. And as you can see, this is the base appearance right there. Then you add the class hall campaign that would reward you with these other appearances right here. Then you add this other one that you would be able to unlock, and you're still able to unlock by doing different type of things. Then you add the PvP ones, and you also add the hidden appearances. And finally, you add the challenge appearances. And these ones were linked to the Mage Tower. And in order to unlock them, you needed to do some very difficult challenges. In solo mode, it was something you could only do solo. And when you would finish that, you would receive and unlock these appearances. Sadly, again, these appearances are not completely removed from the game. You can still do these different challenges. And instead of getting these different appearances, you will get, for instance, some of the different recolored tier sets from Tomb of Sargeras for all the different classes. And also, when you do all the different challenges with your class, you will be able to get this mount right here, the Mage Bound Spell Tome. But again, other than that, all the challenge mode appearances for your artifact weapons, these ones have been completely removed from the game. So for warriors, again, for arm warriors, these were the different weapons you were able to get right here. Then for Fury warrior, you had these different ones right here, and I actually have these ones with me right now. Then you also add these ones, but these are the same ones. Then for Protection Warrior, you add these ones, and I think these ones look pretty cool. Then for Paladins, you add for the Ashbringer these different variant right here, which I think look pretty cool as well. Then you also add these other ones with the two-handed mace. And finally, you add these shields and one-handed mace. And I think these ones looks really, really, really cool. Then for hunters, you add this one right here, which is a bow. And as you can see, this one's pretty cool, but nothing too crazy here. Then you add these other variants, and this time it was kind of a gun. And so these ones are pretty unique as well. Then you add these other ones, and again, I think these ones are just okay, not my favorite ones overall. Then for rogues, you add these ones right here. These are just daggers. I don't find them very interesting personally. Then you have these different swords that are a little bit more interesting. And finally, you also have these other daggers right here. Then for priests, so here we had quite a lot of them. First, you have this staff right here, which I think looks really, really nice. Then you add this other staff. So again, another cool version. Then you add Xalatath. So here it was this version right here. Then for Death Knights, you add this one right here. And again, I think these weapons look really badass. Then you have these one-handed mace, swords right here, which again I think are super nice. You have the same ones here, and finally you also have Apocalypse. And so Apocalypse, I mean, they look really big and really cool. So these are all these appearances right here. Then for shamans, you add these different maces right here. Then you also add these over shields and weapon here. And finally, you also add these ones. Again, these ones are not super interesting in my opinion. Then for mages, you add this staff right here. Then you also add this one-handed sword. These ones were really long. Then you also add these over weapons. So this is it for mages. Then for warlocks, you add these ones right here. Again, some very big staff overall. Then you add these over ones, which again, I think just looks so massive. It's kind of crazy. You also add the skull appearance. So the skull, you would have the skull that will be around. Right now we don't see it, but normally you have a skull that is just flying around you. So that's pretty cool. For monk, you add also a few other ones. So here, for instance, you add these different staffs. You also add these different appearances right here, which are again over really big staffs. And then you add these fist weapons right here. Then for druids, sadly I can't show you all of them in game because some of them changes completely the form of the druid. But first you add these different staffs right here. Then you have these over staff right here. And finally, you have these different forms for your feral druid. So I think these ones look super cool. And then you add these ones for your guardian druid. And finally, we have Demon Hunter. And so Demon Hunters, I mean, they're really cool. So first you have these ones. Then you also have these ones, which actually are the same. Then you also have these ones. And I mean, these ones are very big. Again, as you can see, it almost makes like wings in your back when you're using them. So the first clue that we got is not directly linked to the weapons, but it's linked to Legion, and especially it's linked to Legion Remix. There are a lot of speculations that we will be getting Legion Remix at the end of 11.2.7, so before the release of Midnight. And here, the main reason why we think that is because when you look at the roadmap, when you arrive around that period right here, before again the reveal, or not the reveal, but the launch of Midnight, there is all these different bar that becomes green, and this is the same green as the one used for Legion. And basically, it means that most likely this is when they are planning to do Legion Remix. And especially, I think it makes sense because, again, at that moment in the game, they won't have a lot happening. And so this is the perfect moment for another remix event. And if that's the case, obviously, it means that probably Blizzard will reintroduce into the game the different artifact weapons, or at least you will be able to use the different artifact weapons because it was one of the core system of this expansion. And overall, it would be very weird to play Legion Remix without the different artifact weapons. And so here, obviously, a lot of people also started to speculate that maybe with the reintroduction of the different artifact weapon and with Legion Remix, Blizzard will also reintroduce the Mage Tower, the original version, and all the different original challenges and rewards that you were able to get back in Legion. And now it brings us to our second hint that we got from all the different items that have been data-mined in patch 11.0.7 that will launch in 2 weeks. And this is this item right here, Verus, which is actually one of the different appearances that you can get for Demon Hunters. And again, this is one that has been removed from the game since Legion, and that normally you can only get when doing these challenges in the Mage Tower that you were able to get back in the days. And now, for some reason, there is a new version that has been data-mined and that normally is supposed to be linked to the patch Siren Isle, patch 11.0.7. So my honest opinion on this is that this one is not actually gonna be added into the game in the next patch. It's probably just a mistake from some of the developers that were looking into these different artifact weapons and that by mistake just added them to this patch right here. I think what is happening right now is that Blizzard is already having a team probably looking into Legion Remix, and they are planning to bring back these different weapons. And that's why we have this one Dataminded as something that will arrive in patch 11.0.7. I think this is really just there because again, they have been starting to look again into these different weapons, and this is why it's there. So again, it's very important to remember that these are only speculations. It's impossible right now to say for sure that we will get these weapons back into the game, but I do find very odd the fact that there is this challenge artifact appearance that has been Dataminded from patch 11.0.7, and that next to that, there are more and more hints towards having Legion Remix at the end of the War Within. So I think all of that is linked, and I really hope that we will be able to get back the original challenge mode for the Mage Tower and all the original rewards. I think it would be really cool, and it would definitely be something that players would really enjoy during the Legion Remix event. So let me know in the comments what you think about that, if you would be happy or not for these appearances to be brought back into the game, if of course they are still challenging to get and you need to put the same amount of effort as you needed to do back in Legion. I personally, again, am really in favor of that. I think it would keep players busy and happy, and overall, it's always nice to have this type of challenges and really cool rewards that you can get in the game by doing in-game activities. But of course, we'll have to wait and see if that will actually be the case or not. I will be back very soon with more guides and more videos, and in the meantime, I wish you all a great day. Bye!